laughing.
Carlos, it's
Like
fun
once.
for you.
Once, I think.
It's all right though. It makes it more natural.
Yeah.
I try and do this podcast so everybody feels comfortable and natural.
I like
and,
the pirate sword hidden by the.
There's a sword behind that chair too.
It's in the jungle.
I actually inherited those when my little brother passed away. He was a big knife and sword collector,
Nice.
so I've got those. I'll put them on better display someday, but for now, that's
I've got one of those plants that I've had since 2008, and I haven't killed it yet.
Good job.
Surprising, because I kill everything.
Right on. Well, welcome everyone to Spare Time. I'm Carlos. My guest today is my buddy Keith Young. Say hello, Keith.
Hello, Keith. What's
Yeah,
up,
there you
Carlos? Mike.
And
how are
as
ya?
everyone's gotten used to, my buddy Mike.
Hello.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
Shoot. Well, from Klamath Falls, Oregon, went to high school there, did the whole high school thing, played football, played baseball, played music, did all of them kind of at the same time. And, went in the military when I was 18, June 18th, 1992, actually.
What branch?
In the Chair Force. I can call it the Chair Force because I was in the Chair Force. I got out of active duty in 2004, did a contractor job for a little bit, and then moved to Roseburg for a job. Been here ever since.
Awesome. So you're still in the military, though.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me a little bit about your military service.
So I did 12 years active duty, and then I got out for 12 years. And funny enough, I was in a doctor's office and read an article it was Forbes or Money, one of those financial magazines that you find in doctor's offices. And the article had a statistic in there that the average person's retired career, right? So if you think of retirement as a second career, but the average person's retired career cost about $250,000 in cash for medical purposes.
Damn.
And I thought, well,
I don't have 250.
I don't have 250K sitting in the bank account.
Something.
What do I do? So went down to the recruiter for the Army National Guard. Signed up October 2015 or so. And I can retire next October 25th, but I unofficially have accepted another promotion to E9, Sergeant Major.
Wow.
Nothing's on paper yet. But if I do that, I should be able to, my new retirement date will be October 25th, 2028.
Wow, that's awesome, though.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thanks.
My dad retired National Guard as a first sergeant.
I'm a first sergeant now, so.
Yeah. And he had 35 years in the military, I believe.
Wow.
So I think his first 3 years were Marines, though.
Okay.
But yeah, so he was active duty National Guard.
Right. AGR, Active Guard Reserve.
Yeah, because he was full time.
Mm-hmm.
He was he was a recruiter forever, and then he started a program for drug and alcohol dependency in the military.
Okay.
Which when I was in the military, which was 25 years ago or whatever, basically if you had a drug and alcohol problem, they just basically kick you out.
You're gone.
Yeah.
So go away.
He helped create a program to help those people out without them having to be kicked out of the military. So.
Right.
And then he did some other stuff, and then he was first sergeant over in Coos Bay, and then first sergeant here in Roseburg, and then finally they were like, okay, you can retire now.
Yeah.
You're ready.
I just moved from Delta Troop in the Dalles to HHT, which is headquarters and headquarters troop in Bend. This is actually,
Well,
I leave Tuesday. Annual training starts on Wednesday, so it'll be my second, basically, drill with HHT over in Bend. So
Where's the annual training this year?
it's a week in Umatilla. Yay.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the time will just be out in Redmond at the BIAC training area. You know, just next to the Redmond airport there.
yeah. I know exactly where that's at.
Yeah.
That's kind of where your sister lives.
Pretty damn close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in
Terrebonne.
Terrebonne, yeah. Right on.
That's right by the gun club.
Is it?
Yeah.
We don't get to shoot in Redmond. They used to have a range out there, but
Yeah.
apparently they killed it.
Just tell them you're going to the gun club. Say, hey,
There's
field
pl-
trip.
I'll tell you what, there's plenty of people
Yeah.
shooting out there. We were out there last summer for 4, 5, 6 days, something like that. And the spot we had a dozen strikers. And if you know what a striker is, it's not a little tiny, hard to hide vehicle. You can freaking see this.
Oh, yeah.
We had a dozen strikers, pulling security around the perimeter, and there's bullets going over our heads.
Oh, shit.
You could hear them.
Here we go.
So myself and the commander and a couple other guys would go up to these guys and be like, hey, we got, 110 dudes camped out here for the week. Can you shoot in a different direction?
Damn.
Never stopped. So we've
Create a wall with the strikers.
No shit.
we've moved our training locations in BIAC. So yeah, it was a little exciting there
I
for a
bet.
couple days.
I'm pretty sure Mike's brother-in-law wouldn't mind you guys doing a training exercise killing coyotes on their property.
Yeah.
Go.
He's got a scissor lift with a freaking blind set
Yeah,
up
they
on
do
it.
the rock chucks and
I've got strikers with 50 cals and
Oh, that-
240s on the top
perfect.
of it.
There you go. Tear them up.
Yep.
get
I
some
would love to see what a freaking 50 cal does to a rock chuck.
just powder. Turn it to powder.
Especially a full auto 50 cal.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. So the military, I'm assuming the military was the start of you being kind of a world traveler.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I know since you've been coming in the shop, every time I talk to you, you're like, oh, well, I'm going to this country. I'm going to this country. I just got back from this country. So tell me a little about your little world travels.
Yeah, I have a blessed life right now. And so I started out, 1992 in the Air Force, and I was stationed at Yokota Air Base in Japan, and I was a C-130 crew chief. So my name's on the step, right? So anywhere my plane went, I got to go with it. So I went all over Korea, went to Osan, Kunsan, Jeju-do, Daegu, all over Korea. Went to Okinawa, been to Guam, which is one of my favorite places in the world, by the way. I've been to Thailand. I've been to Vietnam. I didn't get to spend a lot of time in Vietnam. We basically landed, kicked some boxes out the back of the plane, and then took off again. But I've been there.
You got to see the runway.
Basically.
Nice.
Here's what's really cool about that is, so for my seat in the C-130 was basically a bunk that you can sleep on, which is behind the two pilots and the flight engineer. And so, like during landing and takeoffs, I would just stand up and hold on to the flight engineer seat. You got to sit down like when wheels are touching, but for the approach, you can stand up and look out the windows. I remember landing in Saigon, and it was just like the movies. Rice, you got a concrete or an asphalt runway, and then for miles in every direction on both sides of the runway are rice fields
Just rice patties everywhere.
with Vietnamese people
damn.
behind oxen in a yoke,
Yeah.
pulling these plows or whatever, and the little pointy straw hats that you see in the movies. It's like it hasn't changed since, eons. Who knows?
Did you say it though when you were coming in? Sure. I love the smell of
The
napalm.
smell of napalm in the morning. No, I didn't. Maybe I did. I don't know, but that was many years ago. But so that started the travel, and then I worked here in Rosebery before I started my career, what I do now, and we'd go to Mexico every other year or whatever, take a cruise. But my career now really affords me the opportunity to take advantage of some really cool trips.
Right on.
Yeah, Australia. I've been to Australia and London and Alaska. I've been to Hawaii.
It's fabulous.
So you said Guam's one of your favorite places.
I love Guam.
And that's technically that's not a foreign country.
No, it's a territory.
Yeah, that's
US,
a territory of the U.S. And funny story about Guam. I had a customer the other day who was from Guam,
Okay.
and I'm doing his background check, and the Oregon State background check system has no abbreviation for Guam. And
So you just had to write out Guam.
I spent 20 minutes looking. No, you have to have an abbreviation. You can't.
Okay.
The only way to enter it is with an abbreviation. So I spent 20 minutes trying to figure out what the damn abbreviation for Guam is. Guam is under the "this country has no abbreviation."
Holy
And
shit.
so it gets thrown into the catch-all, and I spent 20 minutes discovering that
Did
Wow.
you pass, though? That's the question.
instantly. Yeah.
What?
You know, what's funny about background checks is people that were born in other countries, first-time gun buyers that are over 21, and legal aliens. Almost all of them get instantly approved.
Because there's no information out there.
Yeah,
There's
absolutely
nothing to
no
sift
record.
through.
Right.
Yeah.
Everyone else gets thrown in line usually, but those people usually get instantly approved. Yeah.
Man, I've got a CCW. I was a cop for 12 years. I've got the squeaky, cleanest record you could ever imagine. And I'm like, hey, Carlos, what am I? Oh, you're 4,714 today.
You're still waiting.
Yeah. What the? Whatever. It is what it is.
Dude, John Hanlon gets put in line.
Yeah.
He has to wait to pick his guns
That's funny.
up. So, I mean, you can't feel too bad.
No.
Gotta love Oregon.
What's that?
Gotta love Oregon.
Oh, yeah, for sure. What other countries what are your other favorite places you've been?
You know what? I don't know about favorite places, but favorite memories, right?
Yeah.
Like Okinawa, the fruit bats in Okinawa. Have you ever heard of them?
Those are ginormous, aren't they?
Like
Yeah, they're like
flying foxes.
they're like bald eagles.
Yeah.
They
So
scare the shit out
you
of
know,
you.
being young
Holy
military dudes, what do you do on Friday night? You go to the club.
And then you get drunk and go try and knock a fruit bat out of the sky.
Well, you're not knocking. I mean, you're going to need a howitzer to knock those things out of the sky. But I know, and I spent a bunch of time in Okinawa, always TDY. I wasn't never stationed there, but we would go there once a month or so and
What's TDY?
temporary duty.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So we're stationed at Yokota Air Base in Japan, and we go TDY to Kadena Air Force Base in Okinawa for 3 days, 4 days, whatever it is. Usually it was a typhoon evacuation. Like the whole squadron's going. Get your shit. We're leaving, right? So yeah, you'd go to the club and have some beverages and as an 18, 19, 20-year-old. And you got to walk back to the barracks, and these, 6-foot wingspan freaking
Oh, shit.
fruit bats
Trying to lift you off the ground.
come out of the sky and dive bomb your head.
Damn.
That's like the flying monkeys from freaking the Wizard of
Yeah.
Oz.
It was, I'll never forget that. Ducking for cover and hitting the ground.
What the fuck was
And
that?
the fruit bats coming in. So that,
Dude, you would definitely hear that flying over your head.
yeah, they're insane.
They're not landing on your shirt and you're not knowing it.
No. No. It'd be like getting hit with a Volkswagen bug or something like that. And then Korea, I've been all over Korea. Osan was really cool because it had a lot of cool shopping, unique, like brass figures and stuff you could get there really cheap. And mink rugs was the big thing back in the day, so we'd always go get those. But I remember landing in Kunsan Air Base, South Korea in February. And it was a last-minute trip, so I did not prepare. I had a light jacket, my flight suit, my boots.
It gets cold as shit in there, doesn't it?
Yeah. I stepped off the plane. It's blizzard conditions.
Holy shit.
It's like negative 742 degrees.
That might be a bit extreme.
It was cold. It was really
serious.
cold. It was really cold. And
I've
then,
never experienced negative 747 degrees.
42. Anyway, I step off the plane and the sole on my boot falls off.
It froze to the ground, probably.
It might have. So I'm walking around, snow and slush. My feet are frozen.
Holy shit.
And it was a miserable experience, and I never want to go there again as long as I live.
You're like, it's burnt into my head.
So it's not one of your favorite places.
No.
I hated that place. Ieshima, the little tiny island off the coast of Okinawa, a coral runway, and very short. And I don't know how short it was, but I remember standing up, we touched down. So we did an assault landing, which is you come in over the runway, drop the landing gear, and cut the props, kill them. So you just fall straight out of the sky.
Yeah.
Hit the run to make it faster. Or?
Yeah. So like Afghanistan and Iraq, they would do assault landings routinely because it's so fast that you're not getting shot at. But we had to do it in Ieshima because the runway was so short.
Yeah.
So you land, cut the props, you slam on the ground. Pilot throws all the props in reverse and slams on the brakes. So if you're not strapped in or holding on to something, you're going through the front, right?
Hold on, Grandma.
But I remember the plane coming to a stop, and looking out through the windows over the nose of the C-130, and you can't see ground.
Oh, shit.
Just water.
Damn.
So to take off, we had to back up, turn around, and then the loadmaster's has the ramp at the rear of the plane open, and he's laying on it, looking underneath back at the wheels, saying, come on back, stop, because 12 more inches and you're in the ocean. And that was hairy, but pretty fun.
Jesus.
We've had a couple incidents like that.
I just watched a video on YouTube or TikTok the other day, and it was these big ass planes. I mean, they were like bombers or something, taking off of a runway on a freaking aircraft carrier. And they got like a big skateboard ramp looking thing because the runway is not long enough. So they got to get that plane up into the air,
get the nose up
before and it kind of goes off. It launches up there and starts looking like it's going to fall. And then it catches enough and gets going.
Gets enough speed. It gets that push under the wings. And
I mean, that's freaking ballsy, dude.
Have you ever seen the JATO on the C-130s, jet assisted takeoff? It's 3 rocket motors mounted to each side of the fuselage. The right forward of the paratroop doors in the back.
Oh, is that the thing that kind of looks like a slingshot?
No,
it's just rockets on the side of a plane. They launch those things. So that's how C-130s can take off from an aircraft carrier.
It's nuts, dude.
It's pretty cool.
I when my daughter was in the Navy, I got to go on the Harry S. Truman, because that's what she was stationed on.
Mm-hmm.
So she took me on a tour of that. And, I mean, it's massive. It's a massive freaking ship. But when you look at the size of the planes...
You're like, holy crap.
They're massive also.
How do they do that? I mean, it's crazy how many of them are on that freaking ship.
Well, those Navy aircraft, their wings fold up to reduce their wingspan.
Yeah, it's nuts.
I was standing in the NCO club in Yokota one night with all my friends, and all these new guys come in. You can tell they were Navy or Marines or something like that. And we didn't think anything of it. We just kept on with our party. We were drinking MGD back in the day, Miller Genuine Draft. And it was a country night, so we were out there dancing. And all of a sudden I get a tap on my shoulder, and I'm like, oh, shit, here we go.
Because you were in the Air Force at the time.
Yeah.
And everybody fucks with the Air Force.
Yes. It's the Air Force. I'm thinking, well, here we go. Get ready. And I turn around, and it's a buddy I graduated high school with.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Of all places.
Yeah. His ship docked in Yokosuka. And,
that's pretty cool.
The Navy base Yokosuka. And they said, let's go up to Yokota and party. So got to hang out with him for the night. That I mean, small world, right?
No
Yeah.
shit. Of all
You're in Fusa, Japan, and a dude you graduated high school
From
with taps you on the
Klamath Falls, Oregon.
Yep.
You
Wow.
never know where you're going to run into someone, either someone you know or someone that's from your town or whatever. I was in, the first time I went to Alaska with my wife, we were in Homer, Alaska. It was our day to go halibut fishing. And we got to the boat, and it was cold and rainy. My wife immediately went inside the cabin of the boat.
I'm not having this.
That's
And I
Alaska.
was out. I'm like, fuck no, I'm staying outside the whole time, right? I'm getting the full experience. So I'm out there sitting on the deck waiting for everybody else that was going on this fishing trip with us. And I see this guy and his wife come board the boat, and he's wearing a hickory shirt
He's got
and freaking double front jeans.
rigging pants.
And they
he's
were
ready to
Roseburg,
go.
Oregon.
And they were cut off. They were cut off at the bottom of the pants. He was wearing nice, brand new looking freaking.
Romeo's.
Gotta be
Romeo's.
Yeah,
Yep.
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 And I looked at him, and they're like, "Oh, hi," said hi to me. And I said hi, and I was like, "Where are you guys from?" and they said they were actually
Myrtle Creek, Oregon.
Yeah.
no, they were actually from Cottage Grove,
Fair enough. Close.
but they
Yep.
said Cottage Grove, and I was like, "I knew it."
I knew it.
And he goes, "You knew what?" And I go, "I knew you were from Oregon." He goes, "Why is that?" And I said, "You're wearing your dress hickory."
He goes,
And his
why?
wife
Why? Yes,
punched
I
him.
am.
His wife punched him in the arm and said, "I told you not to wear that fucking thing."
That's awesome.
It was the best, dude. And then we were BSing the whole day. It was funny. But yeah, so that's you never know where you're going to run into people
No.
you know.
No. That's happened several times. Yeah.
It really is a small world, but if you pay attention, it's a small world. If you're not paying any attention, you'll just
Sure.
pass it
Sure.
right by.
Uh-huh.
I've been dealing with you. You've been one of my customers, and I consider you a friend by now.
Thanks, man.
But you've been one of my customers for several years now, since I came here to the store about 6 years ago. And I have noticed you have a few different loves in your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think one of them's the military, because you talk a lot about your service. So I know it means a lot to you.
It's a love-hate thing, but yeah.
Well, I think anyone that's been in the service understands that. But one of the other things is long-range shooting. I know that you used to competitively long-range shoot.
Yeah, it's been a while, but
Yeah.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is that something? Did you get that? Did you do like sniper training, or did you just kind of start shooting and fell in love with it?
So I never really grew up hunting anything other than ducks and geese and stuff like that. My dad wasn't a big game guy. So when I turned, when I got old enough to go do it myself, I said, I want to get into this because all my buddies did it and stuff. And
Well, you grew up in Klamath Falls, right?
in Cave Falls.
And there's a lot of bird hunting over
A
there.
lot of bird,
Yeah.
right in the middle of Pacific Flyway. Yeah, it's
Definitely.
bird hunting heaven over there.
Yeah.
So my first year deer hunting, I bought a bow, practiced every day for like 6 months, and then one arrow, bam, killed my buck. It's a little spike, but whatever. And then for some reason I sold the bow and I bought a rifle. And I goofed around with it for a few years, and then I moved here, got a job at the police department, of course. And then I got on the sniper team, and then I got on the SWAT team, tried out for the sniper team and got that position. And that kind of led me, once I got into the precision rifle thing, I started getting relatively decent at that. And then the next logical progression, of course, is, I want to shoot farther. And
And when it's your job,
Yeah.
you're obviously practicing all the time, anyways. So
yeah, we didn't practice as much as I wanted to. So I did it on my own.
yeah,
Right. And then my personality is, if I get into something, I immerse myself in that discipline, whatever it is. Right.
Yeah.
For better or good. That's just the way I've been my entire life, and I can't change it. So I dove into that long range, world, and it took me 4 or 5 months to build up to, because back then 1,000 yards was that was the pinnacle.
Oh yeah.
If you can shoot 1,000 yards, you're the guy, right? You're the
Definitely.
man. It took me 4 or 5 months, and I was also now I'm hitting targets at 1,000. And I put some money into my equipment. I had top end optics, and my rifles at the time weren't world class, but they were decent. Then I had a custom rifle built, and it was a little bit better, and I still had top end optics. And so the next logical progression for me was, okay, I can shoot 1,000, now I can shoot 12, now I can shoot 14 and 15, and then I can shoot a mile, which we did. The next logical progression for me was, let's put my skills up to test against other dudes doing the same thing. So I went to, my first competition was up in Sandy, Oregon, and I think it was called like the Law Enforcement Sniper Challenge or something like that. You didn't have to be law enforcement or sniper, but there was a separate division
Sure.
for that. And I met my buddy Kim Olin up there, and then we hit it off instantly and decided we were going to start competing together. So we would go to Sacramento or back up to that same We went to several competitions together, driving his wife's Prius, by the way. That's a whole nother story, but
Nice.
You gotta break the rifle down so it fits.
yeah.
Rip mount.
You got to wear a full face mask when
Yeah.
you pull up to the range. So yeah, I did that for a number of years, and honestly, I got kind of burnt out because, like I told you at lunch, I was practicing every weekend. I was shooting 300 rounds for 2 rifles, to my 260, which is my main competition gun, and my 308, which was my work gun at the time. I was shooting 300 rounds through each of them pretty much every weekend.
So
Damn.
I got a question for you. Not to interrupt, but so I always wondered with long range competitive shooters, most long range rounds are barrel burners.
Mm-hmm.
So how does that work when you're freaking trying to stay competitive and keep your craft honed in, but the amount of rounds you need to be sending down range to do that is also, I mean, there's calibers that'll burn a rifle up in 1,500 rounds.
28 nozzle will do it in 700 or 800
Yeah.
rounds.
So, I mean, and the minute you replace your barrel,
You're starting over.
you got to
Yep.
start over because your freaking rifle might not even like the same round anymore.
I went through 3 barrels in my 260 in 1 year.
God dang.
So it just makes it so you got to shoot even more.
You just gotta
Yeah.
shoot more. You just gotta start over.
It's crazy, dude.
So,
That's
and
nuts.
here's I talk to a lot of my buddies that are newer into shooting than I am. Yeah, maybe they've been shooting for 30 years, but they didn't immerse themselves in the discipline like I did, a few years ago. And, I tell them, don't clean your barrel. Who cares if it burns out? Put a new one.
Yeah, it's going anyway.
It's $300. Don't clean that fucking thing, right? Because cleaning your barrel destroys accuracy, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I clean my barrel. I'll get a brand new barrel. I'll put 800 rounds through it, and then I'll clean it. Then I'll put another 800 rounds through it, and then I might clean it again, or I might replace it. A barrel gets one cleaning in its life.
Wow.
I don't break them in.
You don't scrub them in or
I
nothing?
don't do any of that stuff.
Wow.
I shoot them,
Well, it makes
clean
sense.
them once, shoot them,
It
throw 'em
totally,
away.
totally makes
I've
sense.
honestly never broke a rifle in. I don't understand why. I'm a hunter though. I'm not precision, and if I can hit a pie plate at 200 yards, I know I can kill just about anything.
So the thing about long range hunting and shooting really is not about first round hits.
Nope.
It's not. The number one skill to not acquire, but the number one skill to cultivate and master is recoil management, spotting your misses, and accurately measuring those with your reticle
Your adjustment.
and making the adjustment to your second shot.
Yeah.
And that's for the precision shooting. Yeah.
Yep. If you want to be a successful long range marksman or shooter, we don't need to use the word marksman, but
Right.
don't worry about your first shot. Get as close as you can.
Yeah.
'Cause you're never going to be perfect,
You're,
right?
you're
gonna hit
walking
some-
it in, basically.
Yep.
Mm,
But you should be able to walk it in with consistent winds
yeah.
and consistent environmental. What's the word I'm thinking of? Environmentals. Just leave it at that.
Mhm.
Consistent wind and consistent environmentals. You should be able to make 100% second round hits every time. That's the key to long range shooting, in my opinion. I may
No,
take it
that
for a
makes
grain of salt,
perfect
but-
sense right there.
Now you're starting to get think about getting back into it a little bit because you're working on putting together a golf / long range shooting tournament for next year, right?
Golf is a relatively new obsession,
Yeah.
passion / obsession. I've been playing for 6 years, 5 years, 6 years, something like that. And again, when I decide I'm interested in something,
You go full bore, huh?
I don't have the ability to.
Tain't no half-assing with
No,
you.
I just can't do it. If I could,
Copy. That's respectable.
well, I mean, it's a detriment sometimes.
Yeah.
But I can't. I could sit on the couch and tell myself all day long, I'm not going to play golf tomorrow. It's not important.
Yeah.
But it's something in my brain that's hardwired to say,
I
be
got
as
to.
good at this as you can be, right? So I pour myself into it. So anyway, to answer your question, yeah. So next, we're planning for the first week of May. It's going to be a hybrid scramble golf tournament / I hesitate to call it long range shooting at this time, but
Precision
at least
shooting.
precision. And there will be a
Sure.
long range component to it,
Mm.
but that won't be the focus of it.
And you got the location, the property all picked out, and
I haven't seen it yet, but I've been assured that the property will be available. So I'm hoping,
Still
I'm
pretty
hoping
local.
Sunday I can go out. Yeah, it's in Glide.
that's awesome.
So I'm hoping Sunday I can go out and look at it. And if my current idea for a course of fire doesn't work out, I can develop something that'll be like, I want it to be obtainable, but I want it to be a challenge and difficult at the
Well,
same
of course.
Well,
Yes.
I know Umpqua Survival is going to have we'll definitely be part of sponsoring it, and
You'll be flying a banner
we'll have
there.
A team. We'll have a team there.
We'll have
for
a
sure.
team. Okay. I might need to be part of the Umpqua Survival team. Who knows?
Well, I might need to be the weak man on the team because I'm not good
Yeah.
at golf and I've never freaking done precision shooting.
I'd like to just watch.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Sounds interesting
but
as hell.
I'm not going to just go and watch. Fuck that.
I will.
No, you gotta.
I'm going to do it.
And I'm toying with
video
the
it.
idea of once everybody's been reimbursed for their piece of it, right? Like whether it's providing the steel or paying for catering, and then of course you got to pay prizes for whoever
Copy,
wins
yeah.
the thing. But I'd like to find a worthy charity that we can donate
That would be fabulous,
excess
dude.
proceeds to.
That,
Oh, I'm sure we
that
can
would
find
be
something.
cool as hell.
It's not a problem at
Yeah, and I'm thinking Wounded Warriors maybe at this point,
Yeah.
because my military background and all that. But
Hell yeah.
I'm open to suggestions.
all. We'll find something.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Something to do with kids, hopefully.
Kids?
Kids.
There's all
Well,
kinds
you
of
said Wounded Warriors. That's not kids.
I know,
Well,
but
either
Well,
way.
I mean, a lot of them are wounded or freaking kids, but
yeah.
it's kids to us.
And I'm not a kid person, but since my grandkids have been born,
it changes you,
Now
huh?
you're getting soft.
Yeah.
I'll tell you
Yeah.
what.
Mike and I are totally like
I understand. You have to say no more. I totally understand.
freaking bad boys with horrible freaking reputations our whole life, and then we get grandkids and turn into freaking
Yeah.
just mushy,
Yeah,
soft,
it's
gooey.
over.
freaking walk in the living room at night and you're sitting there on the couch crying over some fucking stupid movie.
Well, that's Carlos. 'Cause,
Have you ever seen?
you know.
Have you ever seen Marley and Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Dude, I watched that.
I'm not a dog guy, so it didn't do it.
I am a dog. I have 3 of them. But I watched Marley and
So
Me.
do I. That makes me less of a dog guy.
I love my dogs. I watched Marley and Me on a flight from like Eugene to shit. It's been so long ago. I don't even know what Denver,
Were you
whatever.
balling in an airplane?
I
All these people are looking at you like, whoa.
bawled my head off
You're like,
at that movie.
Excuse
Is that how
me.
you met your girlfriend?
That's a whole nother story. Like my 16-year-old setter, I got his paw tattooed on my arm.
That's badass, dude.
The only time I've ever cried as hard as that
Copy.
was when I watched Marley and Me on that airplane.
Holy shit.
It was bad. And I was embarrassed at I'm like, I can't. Is this really happening right now?
The stewardess is like, "Sir, do you need
You're
a
like, I
tissue?"
need to use that bathroom like right now.
I'm like a 3-year-old girl who just I don't even know. It was
They're always,
bad. It was bad.
Just look away. Just look away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you though. I feel you though.
I'm definitely a dog guy.
But
I've had Telly in the shop before. Were you here?
What's that?
My puppy. Well, she's 2 now, but I had her in the truck one day when I came in.
I think you did bring your dog in one
and
time.
she just ran around the shop.
So
yeah, I think so.
bird dogs.
I've been a bird dog guy my entire life until the last couple of years. Yeah. And growing up in Klamath, you have to have a bird dog.
Oh yeah,
You got to have a lab.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah. And
From
then
your background.
I've had short hairs, and my best hunting dog ever was a Springer named Dusty.
Sweet.
That guy was a machine. He would retrieve birds
I
that were
lo-
lost to most dogs.
I love watching the dogs work.
Yeah.
We've got a couple customers that have bird dogs that
Yeah,
are pretty into it.
pheasants or the ducks and.
Unfortunately, bird hunting here in Douglas County is not.
No, it's
not that great,
Well,
Nope.
we don't have any wetlands,
and that's the problem. I mean, you can go shoot grouse, but like most people, just go drive around and shoot them off the road, which is not my thing. I'll do it just for a meal.
Oh, of course.
But I love to go find an old blocked off logging road and just go.
That's
walk
all
and
me
look
and
for
Mike
birds.
kill during elk season.
Just grouse.
Yeah, we eat well. No, I just watching the videos of guys. Haven't really. I guess Bend Redmond area, the pheasant hunts over there on the Crooked River. I can't remember the organization. They released the pheasants.
PU Pheasants Unlimited.
Yeah, pheasants are
Just
beautiful
watching that, the how smart the damn dogs are. It
Oh.
just amazes me, dude.
And the cool thing about those dogs is you don't have to teach them anything.
Yeah, they're
You
it's
teach them to
genetics.
sit.
It's genetics,
Yeah,
you know.
come back to you, but let them loose in a field with birds in it.
Yep.
They know what to do.
Well, I think that's. I mean, they're the breeds of dogs. That's what
Yeah.
that's what they're bred
So
to do
they're
their
made
whole
for-
lives.
So here, growing up, controversial, whatever, I was into dog hunting, bears and cats. And so even there, I know exactly what you're talking about with the whole genetics of the dog. And, you got to teach your dog to come to you, come back, come off of the game, whatever.
Bring my bird back.
Yeah. And it's just phenomenal to me to see an animal, just the thought process of that's what they're raised for. That's what,
100% instinct.
yeah, it's cool.
The minute they bring that back to Oregon, Mike will have like 6 puppies.
Yeah. I'll have to, I got the,
I would too.
Yeah.
hey, well, I'll put up a kennel. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't
Definitely.
know that I would get into hunting cats and bears with dogs just because I prefer to hunt them a different way.
Now I'm a little too fat to be chasing after
it's
the
a lot
dogs,
of work.
but
I like to binocular hunt.
yeah,
I landing
sight
hunt.
hunt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
And I don't have anything against treeing a bear or treeing a cat with a dog. It's been done for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, and I think it should still be completely legal,
Yeah.
especially with our bear population, which is ridiculous.
Stupid. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a buddy that goes out. Well, actually, he's my son's buddy, but he goes out basically every weekend.
Just trees bears.
And well, no, he doesn't even tree 'em. He's gotten into taking all his family and friends out, and I mean, he kills a bear every weekend.
Right.
So he's like guiding.
Sometimes 2 bears every weekend.
Yeah.
And it's not him killing them. It's these people he's taking out.
He's guiding them, basically.
But I mean, the fact that he can find them that easily, there's way too many.
Dude,
many.
find a blackberry patch 300 yards from a road and it's going to have a bear in
Fuck,
it.
Yeah.
right here across
They're
the
everywhere.
damn street. I guarantee you there'd be a bear right over here.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't know that I will ever shoot another bear. I've killed 4 of them.
We, the whole controversial shit about it is we probably did 1 or 2 a year that we actually shot. the rest of it was training the dogs, letting the dogs run.
Sure.
And then we'd fucking let them do their things. Good dog, good dog. Hook them to lead them out of there.
Yeah. That'd be
Go to the next one.
I'd love to go do it.
The
just
cats
to do
are
it.
totally different. That
Cats.
I can say, yes, we did everything. We did our job, you know. Mhm.
I've killed 2, and number 1, best wild game I've ever had. Eaten. Just hands down. It's far superior to deer or elk or any of
So
that
friggin'
stuff.
lean.
God, it's good.
It's
But just seeing a cat in the wild, my buddy Mike and I got one at 14 steps. It jumped down behind us when we had a call over some does.
there you go.
That kind of excitement.
Yeah, there's nothing that can.
You got to be ready to shoot, though, man. Those cats are fast.
Super fast.
Yep.
Yeah.
Given my druthers, though, I'd go hunt ducks any day.
Yeah.
So,
Well, speaking of ducks,
something about bird hunting.
yeah, well, you were talking about bird hunting, so that brings me to another one of your loves,
Shotguns.
shotguns.
I'm addicted.
And you've been addicted to shotguns as long as I've known you.
My whole life.
Yeah, you were telling me that freaking Leon freaking calls you every time we get some new shotguns, and sometimes when they're not so new.
Not necessarily something I'm looking for, but I appreciate that he has me in the top of his
It's
mind
his
when something
effort,
comes
yes.
in. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we have lots of regulars, dude. We get lots of regulars, and once you get to know somebody, you know what they're into.
Sure.
Definitely.
I'd like to think sometimes we do a better job than most to freaking remember exactly what they're into. But
You got
Yeah,
a million sticky notes with everybody's names on them out there.
I don't have sticky notes, and the funny thing is I have a horrible memory. Like, it took me, and still to this day, I can never remember your last name. But I know who
You
you are.
just said it at the beginning of the
Well, I got it wrote down
podcast.
so I don't forget.
Jesus.
But I'm freaking horrible with names. Horrible with names. Has nothing to do with you. Freaking. The only reason I remember Mike's name is because I've been hanging out with him 20 years now.
Right.
But I'm horrible with customer names. But I can tell you the
What's
minute
up,
they walk
dude?
in the door what they're into.
Yeah.
I can tell you. I mean, I know them as people.
Sure.
I just
Sure.
the
Reading the room type.
the little stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I have lots of interests and
You're very passionate about a few things.
but I don't, and I can't put a finger on it. It's probably from my upbringing.
Well, you were raised
Of
on
course.
Hunt birds.
Of course. Yeah.
And I had always coveted, the beautiful sidelock side-by-side shotgun, right?
Yeah.
It's the holy grail.
Just
when
the
you're a
workmanship
kid.
and
I will tell you, shotguns. One thing about shotguns, and I think maybe because they're one of the oldest firearms,
Sure.
shotguns,
They're beautiful.
even old cheap shotguns,
Mhm.
retain their
were
value.
beautiful.
They're beautiful.
Oh, the workmanship. Yeah.
The work, they're not worth shit. I mean, I've had shotguns in here with the hand engraved,
Just
beautiful,
phenomenal.
beautiful freaking
Yeah.
burl stock freaking
That's $400
wood.
bucks.
I mean, they're beautiful shotguns. They're worth $150.
If that.
And but the workmanship of those, amazing.
And I would say a lot of people think that obviously building something like that's difficult, but it's much less intricate than a bolt-action rifle or an AR-15 or an
yeah.
AR-10 or whatever. But I would disagree. In my opinion, building a work of art like
Definitely.
that is, it takes some skill. So, and I don't know where my love of shotguns came from, but I certainly have it. And that's what I was saying when I was a kid, the side-by-side, side-lock, beautiful English-made thing was the peak, right? And now
Well, you obviously grew up around a bunch of bird hunters, so I mean, that's
did.
what they did.
I
Mhm.
did, but now I'm 50 now, and I have the means to be able to acquire these things, which I coveted when I was younger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. for
So, and
By the way, you look a way better 50 than me and Mike would.
Yeah, I would have never guessed it.
Thanks, man. Thank you. But not. I have 30 some odd shotguns in my collection.
That's cool.
And not all of them are high dollar guns.
No.
Right? I'm addicted to Remington 870s. I got 5 of them. Why? Because I can.
Yeah.
Because they're, number one,
that's old reliable.
They're functional.
That's the Glock of freaking shotguns.
Yeah, they're functional.
Yep.
They never fail. They're beautiful in their own respect. The lines of a pump action shotgun. Some of them are ugly, like the Mossberg 500. Gross.
Yeah.
But the 870, beautiful.
Well, there's a reason why the freaking every law enforcement agency in the world's been
number one selling firearm in the history of the world.
Yeah.
When I worked at Weimar, we sold the shit out of them.
Yep. Yeah. And then I have my Spanish doubles, and I have some old American doubles. I have several LC Smiths. I've got an Ithaca new Ithaca double. I've got that Browning Model 12 Pigeon Grade I bought from here.
Yep.
That gun's a work of art, man.
Hey, we called you for that one.
You did?
That was when I was so happy when we were able to call you with one that you were actually looking for.
28 gauge Model 12 Pigeon Grade. And the funny
thing is that one, I think you told me you were looking for one of those
gauge,
2 weeks before we actually got.
Yeah. And it wasn't that specific model, but I didn't have a 28 gauge in my collection.
Yeah.
And that thing popped up, and it just, like the heavens opened, the angels sang. I said, I have to have this gun because it's beautiful, it's gorgeous, it's in pristine condition, and I've killed some birds with it. Awesome. I have some Facebook or Instagram posts with that gun and some grouse and quail.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you recently were being a world traveler and got to experience one of your holy grails of shotguns, right?
I did.
So tell us a little bit about that.
So I've been an admirer of Holland & Holland shotguns since I was a little kid. I'd get the catalogs and I'd dream about it. And I mean, even to this day, it's still a dream. I'm not spending $190,000 on a shotgun.
Can you imagine having a company where the product you sell, you only have to sell one a year?
Just one. Yeah, and you're
you
good.
sell one a year, and it keeps the whole company in
business. Absolutely nuts.
I've got a story about that. Anyway, so Holland & Holland specifically, there's a lot of English makers, Purdy & Sons and Holland & Holland, and there's oh shoot, now I'm on the spot and I can't think of any, but there's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
So this company started in 1843 making automatic pianos, basically.
The auto
like
player
pianos.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not exactly right, but that's the vein that they started in, and then
which I would kill for one of those. Badass.
Yeah. But then they segued into gun making. It's been a family, they made guns for the Royals and for hundreds of years now. So I've admired them since I was a kid. Like one day I'm going to get to touch one of these things. Maybe not shoot it, which my next trip to London I'm going to shoot one. But,
right.
Hopefully you'll be able to buy one next time.
Well, I got some work to do before that, but so yeah, we went to London in April, and the only thing I told my girlfriend Tara that I wanted to do was, I don't care what we do the entire trip.
We are stopping there.
I want to go to Holland & Holland.
Yeah.
And turns out it was super easy to find. It was like 5 minutes from the hotel, and we walked to it.
I'll be damned.
So walked in the door, and it was a Beretta showcase room. And I'm like, yeah, this is cool. There's, $70 million of Beretta shotguns in here, but where's the Holland & Hollands?
Where's the good stuff?
I don't care about these. And there was some really nice Beretta stuff in there. But so they said, well, let's just go around the corner and go up this other door. So I hit the buzzer on the door, and guy says, come on up. His name is Charlie Young. Maybe a relation. I don't know.
Maybe.
And I walked in. I said, Charlie, I introduced myself. I said, I just want to look. And his words, and I quote, bullshit. you're touching everything.
You're gonna get the experience.
He pulled every gun I looked at off and behind locked a glass, basically. Whoops. Handed it to me. I was pulling triggers and swinging guns and looking at price tags, 150,000 pounds, which is 190 grand or so US.
Damn.
Got to play with the 700 Nitro, one of 11 ever made.
Just phenomenal.
The coolest part was he pulled out their record books, which were big, foot wide by 2 feet tall, leather bound books from 1843. All their records were handwritten. He flipped open one page and he's like, yeah, that's a letter from Teddy Roosevelt ordering a matched pair of,
you were telling me about this story and you were telling me about that book. And I think I told you that book alone had to be worth millions of dollars.
I asked him.
Yeah.
I said, how much is this place insured for? Because there's $30 million in firearms retail value.
But that book was millions of dollars.
He said, he didn't tell me a number, but he said the books were insured
alone
for way more than the guns themselves were insured for.
Damn.
It's great. And you said those books had like all the information, like everything.
Everything. Length of pull, cant left or right on the stock. It had length of barrels. It had the chokes.
They're all handmade, so it probably even had who did each freaking job.
Yeah, I mean, I've got pictures of that book in my phone of
the total.
Yeah, the gun I told you about that I found online in the U.S. that was for sale.
Uh-huh.
And I took it back to Charlie, and he looked it up, and he's like, boom, there it is right there. Made in 1890, sold again in 1917, went to Japan, disappeared. Now here it is in the States for sale.
That's amazing.
I've got a picture of that entry, handwritten entry from 1890 in the book.
That's great. That reminds me of that, the wand maker at freaking Hogwarts. That's kind of what it reminds me of.
It was, I mean, we did the Tower of London and the London Eye. We did Westminster Abbey. We did the National Gallery, which I got to tell you about that. The history in London is amazing.
Well, it's super old.
Tower of London is 1,000 years old.
Yeah, that's insane.
You walk up into the top. So the Tower of London's a misleading. There's 22 towers.
Yeah, there's not one.
The whole thing's a castle, right?
Yeah, sure.
But the quote unquote, the tower's in the center of the courtyard, and you go up to the top floor, and all the old king's armor is all displayed on top of these life-size wooden horse statues.
That's amazing.
Armor's all put together with swords and stuff. It was incredible.
That's awesome.
We kind of got rushed through it because our tour was ending, and I'm a little bit disappointed that I wanted to sit and study every piece.
Of course.
Because some of them are just sheets of steel molded around a dude's body, but some of those are so intricate. Yeah. Like King Charles II's armor.
With the gold.
Yeah, gold and ornate. And
well, I was a huge nerd growing up, and I was big into like D&D and that kind of stuff. So all that medieval armor and that kind of stuff.
Camelot.
That stuff all really intrigued me. And the craftsmanship and metallurgy and stuff that they used in that stuff is amazing.
Oh, 700-800 years ago?
The way they were able to do that stuff is
leather
just
work
beyond.
I
mean, if you've never looked at it, it's insane how they were able to do that.
Phenomenal.
The chainmail at each little loop.
Yeah.
They've got a wall of shields. Hundreds and hundreds of shields.
One of these days I'm going to get over there and check
Dude,
that shit
it is. And I was kind of on the fence about going to London. I'm like, it's a big city, and I kind of want to do the...
I've heard it's freaking enormous.
It's... Okay.
And crazy busy.
I'm going to say something controversial.
Crammed into one little area.
At times, it feels like you're in a Mideastern country.
Copy.
Because before Brexit...
I follow you.
There were no...
I'm following you.
Yeah, no restrictions on immigration, so... 3 out of every 5 people is a Middle Eastern person, which is whatever. It is what it is, right? Yeah. That's not a big deal. But when you think of London, jolly old England,
that's not what.
It's not full of English people.
Yep.
But I had the best time in London. We went to, you've seen Ted Lasso, the show?
Yeah, I love that show. Yeah.
Great show. We went to the pub.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
no shit.
That's a real thing.
It's called, it's got a different name in real life. It's called the Prince's Head, and it's in Richmond,
Oh,
which is at the end of the Piccadilly train line.
Yeah.
So we got off at the end of the line, and we walked 5 minutes, and we showed up at the Prince's Head, and it looks nothing like the TV show. You get camera angles and all that stuff, but the little phone booth where Ted would call his mom and his kid, that's right outside the front door.
Nice.
It's amazing.
I had, what did I have? Bangers and mash, which is just sausage on top of potatoes.
You got to do that because you're there, yeah.
Dude, it was so good. And I'd never had Guinness until I went to London.
What?
It's all I drank the entire time.
I can imagine.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
You got to chew your beer.
There was
No.
the first 3 nights we were there, we stayed in Earl's Court, which is a suburb of London. We stayed at an Airbnb before we got to our main hotel, and we found this whiskey bar, and the entire staff was Victor from Spain, and then a guy from Italy, and someone else from Romania or whatever they are. I've got them on Instagram actually, and we hung out with those dudes.
Badass,
You're like, I'm going to
man.
be friends with these people forever.
You're like, hey, you, and you, show me around. Let's go.
It was awesome. We hung out
I
with those
thought you
guys
were
for
going to
like
tell me they
3
were all
hours.
named Victor. I was going to be like, that would be
That's
It's
amazing.
one of them. But yeah, Holland, and so as I was telling you earlier, did I already mention the one I found for sale, and he found it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm in touch with Charlie now via email. So Holland has a showroom in Dallas, Texas also.
Oh, cool.
So he's been there
Yeah.
to Dallas, but he's trying to relocate
To the Dallas show.
to the Dallas showroom.
Because he likes the U.S., I'm sure.
U.S.
He wants to marry a rich rancher's girl and take care of her dad's firearm collection.
There you go.
Which,
I'm sure he'll have no problem.
Right?
He'll have no
dream,
problem.
So I'm in touch with Charlie via email, and
Yeah.
I, if he shows up here in the States, Tara, my girlfriend, obviously is right there. So
Sweet.
he's invited up here to Oregon to do what we do.
Oh, that'd be
yeah.
awesome, dude.
Yeah.
If that happens, you got to let us know.
Bring him into the shop.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
Yeah.
We'll take him out for a day of
That's
debauchery.
here we go.
So I went so the other gun shop I was interested in was James Purdy and Sons. Let me back this up real quick. The guy that taught me how to shoot a shotgun was a retired sergeant major from the Marine Corps. Frank, and I'm embarrassed for not remembering Frank's last name right now.
Dude, I'm horrible with names. You know,
But I grew up, my dad would say, lead the bird. Well, if you've ever shot a shotgun, you know there's a little bit more to it than just lead the bird, right?
Yes.
I grew up being a terrible shotgun shot. So when I got out of active duty and I moved back to K Falls, I joined a skeet club, and I would go out every Sunday and shoot. And Frank Ayers, Sergeant Major Frank Ayers from the Marine Corps, was the coach of the U.S. Marine Corps Olympic skeet team. And I got to shoot some of his guns, like 4-barrel Krieghoff sets and all that kind of stuff. Crazy.
Huh.
But Frank taught me how to shoot a shotgun, and I got pretty good. But Frank had a story, and I got to see this guy. Never got to shoot it, but I got to see it. He was in the China Marines in World War II with his platoon, or whatever they called it back then. And they're on a patrol, and over the horizon comes this group of Mongols on the little Mongolian ponies, the little tiny horses they ride.
Yeah.
And the way Frank tells us, they run up to him and they skid to a big dust cloud stop in front of them.
Trying to show force.
Yeah, and they're conversing. One of the guys in the group has a double-barrel shotgun strung over his back with a piece of rope tied to the stock and the barrel. Frank sees the gun and trades the guy a carton of Marlboro cigarettes for this shotgun.
I'll be damned.
It was a James Purdy and Sons 12-bore side lock, probably an SLE side lock ejector. Gets it for a case of Marlboro cigarettes. Sends it back to Purdy, refurbished. Now he has this piece of art.
Yeah.
English made, prominent English maker side by side in his gun safe. And I got to hold the gun. I never got to shoot it, but
That's amazing.
so Purdy and Sons was in the other direction from my hotel, about a 10-minute walk. So I walked down. Terry went to the spa one day. So I said, I'm going to go down to Purdy and Sons and check them out. And there's probably 6 people in the shop, and the only one that said anything to me, and I'm just in blue jeans and tennis shoes and a sweatshirt or whatever.
Damn American.
Yep. The doorman greeted me. Good morning, sir, and opened the door. And I walked in and I looked around and I left, and no one said a single.
So they were all stuck up and
Fuck those guys.
this fucking guy can't afford
Didn't
it.
even want to converse with you.
Where I walked
That's
into
too bad.
Holland and Holland,
Yeah.
and Charlie was shoving stuff into my hands.
Well, you
It's
gotta,
amazing.
you gotta imagine being a salesman in a place like that.
Yeah.
You're gonna only see a couple people a day.
Mm.
So I asked Charlie about that. I said, the first time we were there, I said, Charlie, these guns are expensive. How many of these when's the last time a dude walked into the office and plunked down 150,000 pounds for one of these things? And he said, Tuesday.
It's just, yeah,
Right? Like it's
what
a
time is it?
routine thing.
Yeah.
We haven't made our sale today.
Right. Yeah. So it's not,
I would think, though, my whole point of that is if you're selling a product that the price is $100,000, or I think they have stuff that starts at like $25,000.
not their shotguns.
No, but I mean,
they might.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, they've
For hats and stuff.
anyways, you're talking about a super high end product. The goal isn't to sell something every time you talk to somebody. The goal is to make that person fall in love with that product.
Exactly.
So that their goal is that someday I will have.
That's one of my, someday I will own a Holland.
And he solidified that with you
100%.
by the way he treated you.
Definitely.
Whereas now you could give a shit less if you got one of those pretty and
Yeah, fuck those guys.
Yeah.
Sweet.
But Holland and Holland, I will make it a
are gonna
goal
get
in
one.
life to own, whether it's an older, less expensive piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a
And-
brand. Someday I hit the jackpot and I get a brand new
And the
one.
way you were treated made you one of their salespeople.
That would be a hard decision to get,
Absolutely.
like a vintage, piece of history or a brand new one.
Yeah.
That would be a dilemma.
So Charlie pulled out a,
Well, it's not a dilemma because the one he found online that's here in the States.
it was like $8,000,
Yeah.
What?
but it needed a new stock.
Oh, who
and
cares?
And a new stock was like $25,000.
no, it was 40,000 pounds
So
Damn.
$50,000.
or 60 grand
to make it air.
just for a piece of
yeah,
wood.
Yeah.
But
It's not like you're going to call Boyd's and, hey, give me
no,
a stock.
but so Charlie pulled one out of the back that wasn't displayed, and he opened it up, and you couldn't tell it wasn't brand new, but it was a 20 or 30-year-old gun, 12 gauge SLE side lock ejector, gorgeous wood, and he told me we bought this at auction for a relative, a decent price, I'm sure. But we bought it for an apprentice stockmaker to practice,
Copy.
to hone his
Sure.
craft. And it was perfect.
Yeah.
And he said it was 25,000 pounds, which is 40 grand,
Dude.
which is not a realistic. I mean, yeah, I could sell some of my investments to go buy one, but I'm not going to.
You're like, I could add 10 years to my
Totally
career.
understand.
Right? Yeah.
Understanding.
I mean,
Yeah.
I could buy that gun today if I wanted to, but it's going to be a
You're
detriment
like,
if I do.
that ain't
Yeah.
happening.
So, but I can see myself someday owning a Holland and Holland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was my point.
But you're absolutely right. The
Yeah.
way I was treated when I was there
Yeah.
was I was treated like not royalty, but I was
No.
treated like someone with the potential to be
That's the whole thing.
Well,
A
it's
good
just like your
customer.
career as a financial advisor.
sure.
You're selling the long game. You're not selling, let's get rich tomorrow.
I don't care what happens tomorrow.
You're selling the long
Right.
game, and that's what they're selling.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's you have to respect that because I mean that's.
But I mean, that experience was something I'll never forget.
That's awesome.
And it was such a simple, easy thing, right?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't a big production or anything. I just walked in and said, I want to look. And he said, no, you're going to touch everything. And maybe he could sense when I walked in that this was like Disneyland for me. Right?
Possibly.
Because I've been looking at catalogs and pictures since I was a little kid.
Well, you gave that off the minute you said, I just want to look.
Yeah.
He knew by your first words.
Dude,
you were
I'll bring
intimidated by even being there.
I'll bring the coffee table book in and show it to you.
Right on, do
It's
it.
really cool.
I'd love it.
It's
It's
amazing.
really cool.
And like I said at lunch, if you email me over some of your music, I'll use that as the intro and outro to the freaking
I'll
podcast.
I'll
I
see
think
what
that
I
would be
can do.
pretty cool.
So if the podcast music is different, you'll know that that's freaking Keith's music. So you were telling me about that museum that you guys went to. You wanted to tell me about that?
Oh, the National Gallery.
Yeah.
I'm not an art guy. I don't get it.
Subjective.
Right? I look at a piece of art and I'm like, yeah, that's a cool painting. So the National Gallery, the oldest piece we saw was
You do get it. You're just not that kind of art.
well, the oldest piece we saw was 1200 something.
Yeah.
And it was rough. But knowing that it's that old
Sure.
is cool. But so we're walking around and we're looking at Da Vinci's, and they're really, really cool. And
The National Gallery has some of the oldest paintings
in the world.
in the world.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Is it the
And it's-
oldest or the most valuable?
Well, I think both,
So
maybe.
both, yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
and it's free.
Well,
We walked into the Rembrandt room.
oh shit.
I get art now.
Yeah.
Those paintings and those pencil sketches were the most. I don't even know how to describe it. Like, it was like an awakening.
Yeah.
Right? This,
It sucked you right in.
this is
and-
art.
Yeah.
They made you feel something.
they're photographs
Yeah.
done in pencil or done in paint.
That's
That's
insane.
That's crazy.
Rembrandt, and like I said, I'm not an art guy. I've never studied it. I couldn't tell you when it was from. I think it was in 15 and 1600, something like that. There was a full life-size pencil drawing of a woman and a child. And it was breathtaking. Never seen anything like that before. And his paintings were so ultra realistic
Yeah.
that if they didn't have a plaque there saying Rembrandt
Somebody, yeah.
1560 or
Like,
whatever,
There's no way someone.
it's a
drew that.
photograph.
Yeah.
And what's funny is the ones that he's famous for are not realistic.
See, I don't even know that because I'm not an art guy.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's the ones that are most famous are not.
Yeah.
But yeah. That's freaking cool though.
I mean, a lot of all the old kings had portraits done, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them are, you can tell that the artist was good, but they weren't Rembrandt good.
Sure.
And we walked into that, and I remember telling my girlfriend, like, I don't believe what I'm looking at.
Is she into art?
She's not an art person.
Yeah.
either,
So
no.
both of you were out of your element in there.
Yeah.
I got you.
But I'm like, are you seeing this?
I met your girlfriend one time.
Yeah, she came in once with me.
Yeah. So what's she into? What's she like?
Didn't really have any hobbies.
No?
No.
Just hanging out with you?
Yeah, just hangs out.
Yeah.
I've taken her fishing, taken her shooting.
So you got the long distance relationship going on. So is that similar to high school where you're on the phone for 2 hours with your fucking girlfriend?
Jesus.
Dude, when I
You're
was
like,
in
you hang up. No, I'm going to hang up. No, you hang up. No, I'm going to hang up.
I love
So-
you too. I love you more.
I was actually just telling this story this morning.
Holy
So I hired a new advisor in my office. He just started in April. And we were talking about my girlfriend. I don't remember how it came up, but he didn't know how we had met. He's like, "Did you meet her on?" Oh, that's right. He met this girl online. Is flying out here this weekend from North Carolina. Blah blah blah
Oh,
blah blah. And he's like, did you meet your girlfriend online? And I'm like, no. And I pulled up Google Maps. And I pointed to the exact spot at Yokota Air Base in 1993 where I crashed my motorcycle in front of her. She was a female MP, military police, had a dude on a traffic stop, and I'm turning left.
And wiped out.
Instead of watching where I'm going.
Yeah, you're checking her out.
You're like, oh, that's a hot chick in a uniform.
Hey,
and I knew who she was.
Classic.
And,
Fucking classic.
So I crashed my bike, and she runs over. And it's slow speed, so I'm not hurt, obviously. But she runs over. Oh, my God, you okay? And I couldn't speak. I was speechless. Number one, I'm embarrassed, right?
Yeah.
And then number two, she was so stupid, ridiculously hot that I couldn't say anything. So I stood my bike up, put my face shield down, and rode off. Didn't say a damn thing.
I'm fine, ma'am. See you later.
That was 1993. So
You were just trying to get her to chase you.
yeah. So when I was deployed, a mutual friend of ours said, "Hey, Tara's single. You should text her," because I was single at the time. So I did. We spent 60 hours a week on FaceTime until I got home from November until February.
That's fucking nuts.
Yep. It works. So,
So, yes, basically, you're like a high school couple.
Not so much anymore because now our
Yeah.
schedules are she was awake, I was sleeping, except I was not sleeping. I was awake the whole time. But yeah, we don't talk as much now because work schedules and stuff like that. But so we're meeting on July 4th in Houston to fly to Europe together. So
That's
Nice.
awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's crazy.
she got a first round hit at 930 yards. First time she ever shot my Lapua. Now I dope
And you give it all to the Lapua too, right?
It's all the Lapua.
Yeah. It's got to be the gun.
That's awesome.
I doped it for her and gave her the wind hold, but she executed and made the shot on steel.
That's amazing. How you can talk someone through that, and
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
it's not hard.
No.
We're
With the
gonna
right
go-
equipment, it's not hard.
We're gonna get out and do that one of these days. We've been talking for a couple years now about doing a long range shooting class,
And
for
we
the
need to
store.
do our land nav thing too.
and a land nav class, and we'll do both those. Virgil said that we could use the Champagne Creek Ranch
Yeah.
to do the land nav class.
We just can't shoot there.
No.
Yeah, we just can't shoot there. But the land nav class we could do there because he said they actually teach land nav.
They've already
to
done
the
that.
search and
Yeah.
rescue.
Yeah.
So he's already got maps and points already set up.
Do they do the Army version of land nav though?
I don't know what version.
It's probably
it is,
roughly similar.
but we
I would
can
imagine.
make it. We can adapt it to work either way.
Yeah.
Certainly.
But either way, we'll get that going one of these days. Maybe I should start talking to him now about doing it next year.
Next year.
Yeah, and then we'll do the freaking golf tournament, shooting tournament.
You could tie
and the
that
land
into
nav
it.
class.
Dude, land nav. You got to land nav your way to a golf course.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
shit, that would suck.
No, that would be amazing.
Yeah, it'd be awesome, dude. Nobody else is doing that kind of stuff. So it'd definitely be one off.
It would be fun.
Yeah,
It would be
good.
fun.
So another one of your loves, and anyone that knows you knows this, is music.
Yeah.
So you're a musician. What all instruments do you play?
Primarily guitar and drums, but over the years I've played all kinds of stuff, and I've played saxophone and trombone and anything with keys on it, or not keys but valves, like a trumpet.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Bass guitar, of course. I mean, if you can play guitar, you can play bass guitar. Maybe not well, but you know where the notes are, right?
Yeah. You can hold a beat.
Yeah. So I had a scholarship to U of O out of high school to play drums.
Nice.
It blows my mind you can get a scholarship to play drums.
Yeah,
It's
dude.
Crazy.
Yeah. I was supposed to study with Alan Cowan at the U of O to play in the jazz drum program, which jazz is not really, I mean, I love jazz, but it's not my thing. You know what I mean? So,
I don't think jazz is anybody's thing.
there's some jazz cats out there.
I know
there's some cats out
I
there.
have to talk shit, you know.
It's pretty cool to relax to.
I mean, the right kind of jazz. You get that free form, just play the right note shit.
I feel like you have to be drunk or high to fucking listen to jazz.
Well, and
because it makes no sense. It's just random fucking tunes.
I would say big band jazz makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, either way.
Production, yeah.
I'm a blues guy, dude.
I like.
So
blues,
what genre is your music, your band?
So I play drums with a country band. We're playing tonight, actually, in Coos Bay. And then we've got another country band that we're getting ready to put together here. We're working on a set list individually, and then when I get back from my annual trainings through the Guard and then my vacation to Europe, then we'll get together and actually play. But I'll be playing guitar with those guys.
Nice.
And that's a country band?
Yeah, it'll be
Is country what you go to music?
Pretty much
It's
genre.
the main stuff I listen to. You know, I grew up with
So I'm going to ask you
Go
this.
ahead.
Old country or new country?
a little both. A little of both.
Yeah,
New country sparingly.
sure.
There's some really good stuff,
There-
and there's
yeah.
some really bad stuff.
Yeah.
And the same
That's the
goes
same
with
with
old
the other.
country, too.
Yeah.
But anything from, let's call it 1985 to today,
Sure.
it's not going to be really old, like Charlie Pride and
No.
Hank Williams Sr. That stuff's a little bit too old
Old
for the modern
Copy.
thing.
Yeah.
But
that would be my era, you know. That's
Yeah.
what I grew up on.
and we're going
too.
to do covers with a few originals kicked in here and there, because my buddy Ace is a great songwriter.
Awesome.
He and I have written some songs together, but he's way better at it than I am. So if we had a 40 song set, there might be 3 originals,
Sure.
right? So, but I'm working on some stuff right now. Not necessarily like rhythm parts, because that's relatively simple for me. But some of the lead. So, okay. My favorite guitar player of all time is Brent Mason, who's played on every Alan Jackson record,
Mm-hmm.
every Brooks and Dunn, Shania Twain, basically any album through the 90s and the early 2000s that you've heard.
Was the go-to.
He played the guitar on it.
Nice.
Funny enough, my girlfriend for my birthday last year bought me a guitar lesson with him,
Oh, that's cool.
which I'm too nervous and I still haven't
Yeah,
done it yet. I still haven't done it. I need to. But a lot of the stuff is his guitar work. And so I'm working on getting that stuff down. And it's not beyond my ability to do it, but it's not something that I can sit down and just play instantly.
Yeah.
I have to start it slow and work up to get it fast. So I've been working on that. But yeah. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I was actually so I love music. I've just never
Mm-hmm.
learned music. So
He's pretty good at karaoke.
Okay.
no, I don't sing. I sing when I'm drunk
When
and
he's
nobody's
drunk.
around.
That's
and I
what
think
I'm saying.
nobody's listening.
We all do that.
That's
But-
why I've said that. you
Yeah,
know,
but I'm not. You're not getting me on stage.
Right.
uh-huh.
Anyways,
There's a way.
I started trying to teach myself harmonica
Okay.
because I figured that's an easy instrument to
Yeah.
carry around.
Hell
One
no,
key.
it
So
ain't.
you have to mess
Well,
with
I figured I could carry that around with me,
All you got to do
and
is
I
breathe.
can create music when I'm around a campfire. Because honestly,
Oh, shit.
I think the best music is people jamming around a campfire.
Sure.
And I started learning it. I think I learned how to play a couple little songs, and then I kind of gave it up. But it's still sitting in my freaking pocket of my door in my truck. So someday when I break down, I'll start practicing.
Dude,
again.
10 minutes a day.
Yeah, and I should.
That's
That's
all
what I
it
should
takes.
do. Yeah.
All it takes.
As you're
10 minutes a day.
driving from here to home,
Well, you can't play a harmonica while you're driving.
Why
need
can't
two
you?
hands.
you just put it in your mouth and breathe, right?
Yeah.
10,
I've probably already had a couple glasses of whiskey. I can have a harmonica in my hands too.
10 minutes a day. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
When I go home for lunch, I usually leave for
Well, you
lunch.
take a 2-hour lunch. You already told me.
I do.
It doesn't take 2 hours to let your dogs out. So
No, but I incorporate other things into my lunch hour.
obviously for 2 fucking hours.
That's one of my practice.
Nice.
That's one of my practice times. right? So I'll go home, eat a tuna fish sandwich or whatever I'm going to have for lunch, let the dogs run around, and then I will plug in my guitar
There you go.
and practice what I'm learning for 30 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever. I do that every single day.
Yeah.
And you would be surprised. So here's the key. Practice for a week and then don't touch it for 2 or 3 days.
And then come back. Yeah.
And then go back to it. And then don't touch it for 2 or 3 days.
Copy.
Well,
It's
that
like-
shows you exactly what you need to practice the
Well,
most. 'cause
it's like a bodybuilder.
the stuff
right?
you don't
Yeah,
remember.
it's
is what
muscle
you need to work
memory and
It's muscle memory.
Yeah.
And it's building those muscles. Like you go to the gym, if you work out and never stop,
Every day do the
you'll
exact
never
same
get
thing.
any stronger.
Right.
You have to work out for 3 days
That's what you do.
and then take 2 days off
yes.
to recover. So the same goes with guitar playing is you have to punish those muscles or those whatever, right?
Yeah.
For 4 or 5 days. And then you have to let them rest and grow. And then I've done it before trying to learn a really challenging piece or something. I'll work my ass off for a month.
Yeah.
And then I'll take 3 months off and not touch the guitar. And then I'll come back and I can play it.
There it is. Yeah.
I can play it all of a sudden,
Yeah.
right? Because you have to have that recovery period.
I think some of it's in your head too, because you need that. Because you start being super hypercritical of yourself.
For sure. For
and,
sure.
and you're like, "Fuck, I cannot get this. I'm done. I can't do it."
It's the
And
repetitive.
you come back to it, and you're like, "Oh, I guess I learned more of it than I thought I did."
You're like, I can't believe that was a struggle. You know?
I mean, I can, so the piece I'm thinking of, I can sit here in my mind and picture exactly where my fingers have to hit. Right? But my fingers don't share that same picture.
There you go. Yeah.
At certain speeds.
Yeah.
At slow speed, yeah, for sure. When you play at full tempo, no, they're
Yeah.
just a little bit off.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, I'm leaving Tuesday for annual training. I'll be back on the 30th. I guarantee you, when I pick up a guitar on the 1st, I'll be able to play that piece 2-speed 100% of the
Yep.
way through.
Nice.
Because I've done it 1,000 times over the last 2 weeks, right? And this 3-week break is going to give my mind and my hand time to fuse. I don't know what the word is,
Yeah.
but it works out every time. It's never failed me.
I might have to try that. I might have to pick that harmonica back up.
I'll tell you what, you want to get good at the harmonica, go online and type in metronome,
Okay.
okay? And then pick 80 beats a minute or 90, whatever it is, and play your harmonica to that metronome, right?
That constant.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
That will improve your musical phrasing skills faster than anything else is playing with a metronome.
But what am I just playing one note every time?
No, play whatever you want to play, but you play it in time with.
Well, first I'm still learning how to read music and freaking that part.
It's a harmonica. It's in one key. You don't have to
No,
read
they
music.
got.
Like I said, all you gotta
get
do is
different
breathe.
Spots on it.
Do you have a chromatic harmonica?
I don't even know what it is. It's in my door.
So that's what you should
blow
know.
through it.
Is it a C harmonica, a D, an E, an A, an F, a C sharp harmonica, or is it a chromatic harmonica? Because if it's a chromatic harmonica, you're fucked.
Does it have a valve on it?
You need to be a 30-year professional to play that.
No, it was one for learning. So I don't remember what
So
it
it's
was.
probably a C harmonica.
Probably.
Just your introduction.
All I know
basic.
is I was like,
I
number
want that.
one, it's easy to carry around.
It's
with
one
me.
of those things that
Number
Sarah's
two, if I
like.
ever end up in prison, I can get a harmonica.
I
Holy
want to know where
shit!
that's going.
I just wanted, so several times I've been camping, people start jamming at the freaking campfire. I
Yep.
love that. I love it. There's nothing like being camping when people just bring out a guitar
Sure.
or someone starts singing or whatever. It's the best.
Random.
And I wanted to freaking be able to pull out my harmonica
Yeah.
and fucking do
So never mind.
So
What-
we're
what were you
having
gonna
our
say?
every year. My firm has a a conference in the summer. We call it our summer regional conference. And it's our award ceremony, and we have a banquet, and we all hang out for 3 days. And last year we had the Edward Jones Band. There's 4 of us that all play instruments, and we got together. And we played a set, like 10 songs, 7 songs or whatever, for the group. This year we didn't have time to practice, so we canceled it. But the biggest event of the 3-4 day event is several of us bring our guitars, and then after the banquet, we just sit around the campfire,
start jamming,
play songs and sing songs. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Dude, it's the best.
I'm not taking my guitar this year, but it's gonna be still be fun.
You better take
it.
I can't.
Why?
Because it'll be sitting in my hot truck for 3 weeks before I go to the event, and it's not good for it. So
put it in an airtight case.
So weird story about I've been hanging around with this knucklehead for quite a while. I know his wife very well. We're best friends. Randomly, she brings a guy home from the bar because he was playing the guitar outside.
Oh, shit.
Come to my house and play the guitar. So they made this guy sit in the fucking corner of the outside porch as we all sat around and bullshit, and he's just in the background playing the guitar. Just total random shit.
Who's
so
that
the
guy?
first time,
Random
she
shit.
actually ran into the guy twice. The first time she joked about it.
It's awesome.
Told him she was going to bring it. He thought she was picking up on him.
It was fucking
And then she's
phenomenal.
like, I'm going to have you sit in the corner of our bedroom,
just
play the
fucking
guitar.
amazing.
And then he's like, what? She goes, yeah, my husband's going to love it. And then the second time I was actually there.
Yep.
And she's like, you should just come to our house and fucking play guitar for us.
So
Wow.
we had a back porch musical as we just sat around bullshitting some random guys back
Who
there.
is this dude?
It
Jamming.
was just some dude at the bar.
Yeah.
I don't know. He was just there jamming at the bar and she fucking brought him home.
It was
It's
fucking
awesome.
amazing.
Well, I'll be. We start at 6:00 in Coos Bay tonight. If you want to come over,
That's a journey.
it's a trip.
Yeah. Probably not safe.
Do you have anything
For me.
Roseburg set up in the future? Or?
Yeah, no. So when my new band gets going, we'll be playing here.
Yeah.
Dude, I've got lots of connections with bars around
Oh,
here.
heck yeah.
So
Right across the street over here.
we're not. We don't want to play bars.
This place down the road here, Urban Blends.
Yeah.
They're fucking awesome. You let
We
me know when
watch
you're
the
ready.
comedy in
And
there.
I'll put you in touch with them. But they've got a little venue set up. They've had live comedy. They keep having different bands. They had a rapper that they brought in from
Yeah.
somewhere.
Really?
Poetry,
Yeah.
you name it.
They do
have
everything.
Open mic.
And it's super nice.
So
It's chill.
all of us have played for so long now that we want to do like 3-4 shows a year,
Sure.
It'll be awesome.
bigger ones.
Yeah.
None of us are into the bar scene anymore,
Like-
right?
Like maybe one of the half shells around.
I do a lot
Yeah.
of. I do a lot of.
Sutherland, Winston, Roseburg. Yeah.
I do a lot of benefits and banquet auctions, and they almost all have
A band.
a band.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome to have you at one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me, my current band, I'm not going to nominate reasons.
Is that the ones you're going to
Yeah,
the coast
the
for?
guys I'm playing with tonight.
Yeah,
It's a reason to play.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
My eye doctor's in a band.
For the
Who's that?
love of music.
What's my eye doctor's name? I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Bob.
Jeff or
Huh?
something.
Bob. I don't
It's
know.
the eye doctor in Garden Valley Shopping Center, by where Ross and all
I
that
know where
stuff.
it's at. I have no
Yeah.
clue though.
I can't remember his name, but I think he's a drummer.
All right, drum off. Let's go.
Anyways, they play a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
He's
So-
in a band. I don't
I've
remember
probably
what
heard
band
him. And I kind of have a thing with local music,
Mm-hmm.
and that this is going to sound really bad.
No.
Musicians, as a class of people, generally are not people that I associate with,
Yeah.
right?
No. Nothing wrong with that at all.
So it makes finding other musicians that I want to associate with, significantly more difficult,
Yeah.
right?
I get that though. 'Cause
Totally
a lot of
understand it.
musicians I know, a lot of musicians that I've met, I shouldn't say I know. Just people I've met.
Flaky as
Seem-
shit.
Well, not only that, but they seem like it's just a hobby on the side. Like they're sweaty dudes in their freaking gym shorts who freaking,
Screamo.
practice on the weekend once in a while, and once in a while they'll get a gig that's at some hole in the wall place that nobody wants to go to.
Right. That's not my thing.
Or
but
they're
there are
stuck
some
in a
people that are pretty
genre
serious,
of-
or people that have been doing it for a long time,
Yeah.
and maybe they're in a band like that, but that's not them,
Well, you could be serious about it, but you can also realize that it's not your vocation, right?
Sure.
I was at the Jersey one night.
I
and
played
this
there
is-
many times.
This is years ago. So I was at the Jersey one night, and there was a band playing, and they were okay. Anyone that's listened to a band in the Jersey knows that everybody in there is not going to sound great because it's so
So
fucking
small.
loud.
And it's tiny.
It's
And
so tiny,
the
it's so loud,
acoustics
you can
are
almost
just
not
totally
even
fucked.
interpret what's happening.
Yeah.
So anyways, they were in there. You could tell they were getting frustrated because they weren't getting tips. And everyone was trying to talk over the music, and the music's so loud you can't talk over it.
Yep.
And I was shooting pool and getting drunk.
As one does.
Yeah, that's what I did.
You're at the bar.
So I went over there and I started chatting it up. They were on a break, and I was chatting it up with the freaking guitar player or bass player. It was a guitar. I don't know if it was a bass or a regular.
Had 4 strings or 6, whatever.
Yeah. So I'm talking to the guy, and I was like, dude, you know what would be awesome? And he's like, what? I go, if you guys would just play some fucking sad ass blues, I would be amazed if you could play some sad ass blues. He goes, I love the blues. I can play some blues.
He's
for
like,
you."
here we go.
And I was like, dude, I had $25 cash in my pocket. I said, dude, you can have this whole $25, which is nothing. I'll put this whole $25 in your guys' tip thing if you play me some sad ass blues for a while. Those guys started playing sad ass blues for me for that $25.
Hell yeah.
He told me at the end I was there for like 5 hours, which tells you something about me. But I was there for like 5 hours. After they started playing blues for me, that's basically all they played the rest of the night because everyone in that
Came
fucking
up
bar
and tipped.
started tipping them. It wasn't too fucking loud anymore. And everyone was just bam, bam, bam. And it was awesome. They were doing awesome. It was great.
I've played the Jersey probably a dozen times. Always as a drummer.
Yeah.
Although one time
So you're sweating your
the guitar
ass
player and I
off.
switched instruments.
Do you have a get up? Do you wear a tank top or a freaking weird hat?
You're looking at it. I'll probably wear a t-shirt.
Drummers are always the guy that's got to stand out. So
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not that
Michael
guy.
ain't.
I'm not that guy. I let my playing speak for itself. So, but I'm excited about this new thing that my buddy Ace and I have. Have you ever heard of the band Ace is Wild?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
Yeah. So it's Ace, obviously, from Ace is Wild, because that band's done.
I've actually heard them a couple of times.
Yeah, they were really good.
Somewhere we went, they played when
Yeah,
we
I don't
went
remember where
together.
it was, but I remember hearing
Yeah.
them.
So Ace and I have recorded a couple things. We got a song on the radio, which was cool.
No shit.
That's awesome.
Locally, of course. So
Well,
it's not that big of a deal. But
It doesn't matter.
It's a big deal, dude.
he wrote it and sang it. I play guitar, and we got that on there.
In
But
case you didn't know that, this is a local podcast.
no, I get it. I get it. I
Jesus.
get it.
If I'm a celebrity,
You're a celebrity.
you're a celebrity.
There we go.
So it's Ace and I, and then a guy I met playing golf last summer. And then we played again 2 months ago. And we started, something about drums got mentioned. And he's like, well, I play drums.
You guys were nerding out
I play drums.
about music.
And then,
Whoa, whoa.
well, it turns out that he knew what he was talking about. So I'm like,
right. It wasn't.
okay, so,
yeah.
so this guy actually probably has some skill.
There you go.
So then we got together and I heard some of the stuff he was playing. And I'm like, okay,
I like
he
it.
can play. And then I got another buddy that played in the Edward Jones band.
I really dig the hand puppets.
Yeah.
I dig that.
Sorry, bro.
People are it's not a video podcast, but
I know.
Holy shit.
Keith is totally hand
Puppeting.
He's using hand puppets as his fucking
So
having a conversation with this guy at the golf course.
yeah. So yeah, at the golf course, seemed like you play drums, I play drums. Let's play drums together. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So he's going to be a part of it, and then my buddy from Central Point plays bass. He's like, I'll fucking drive up there and play.
Let's
with you
do
guys.
this. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
dude. We'll have a parking lot concert here at the store.
Okay, dude. I've been working my ass off learning this stuff.
Yeah. So it's tough for you. It's a challenge.
It's a challenge.
It's a challenge. It's
Yeah.
not undoable, but
Yeah.
it's a
Oh, no.
challenge.
That's
And-
awesome.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what you want.
The
You
challenge
don't want
makes
it to be
perfection.
easy.
Yeah. If it's
Yeah.
easy, it's boring.
Yeah, exactly.
But this stuff, and 8 out of 10 of the songs are like, whatever, I can do that. But 2 of them are like, whoo, I got to work on that. And I've been working on that.
And it's country?
It's all country.
Right on.
Nice.
But just because it's country doesn't mean it's easy.
Oh, no.
No, fuck no.
I just want to know the genre.
Yeah. So, and it's both of the solos that I've been trying to learn are all Brent Mason.
You guys got a good lead singer?
Ace.
Sweet.
Yeah. So you've been local for a little bit. Have you had a chance to go into Workman's, the new barn?
Not yet. No.
I mean,
They've been getting some good music, I heard.
They've had some metal stuff going on that I've
Yeah.
seen.
they're cover bands, obviously, and you know, a lot of cover music, but there's a lot of original stuff too, and they've had some pretty. It's like wow, you
And
know.
all we aspire to do is play cover music, just
No.
dance stuff. Who
Right, to have
not
a good
trying to be
time
rock
to get
stars.
exactly. It's not your career. It's not. No, I totally get it, but yeah, that's a place here in Roseburg locally lately that I've heard of that you know I don't have experience that. There's not too many places that actually have
Yeah.
the opportunity to present
Well, it's
or
gonna,
the half shells or stuff like
Yeah.
that, and
Well, maybe when you get the band really going.
it's gonna be maybe by maybe a year from now before
Sure.
we're ready to play.
there's
Well,
something-
maybe when you
something
get
to
the whole
shoot for.
band going, I'll have the whole band on the show and we'll freaking
That would be sweet.
Rock out,
rock,
our
or you can
socks
rock
out.
out, or we'll just talk about the journey.
Music
Stuff
yeah,
and things.
what,
Yeah.
yeah, and how you guys all met, and that'd be
Yeah.
kind of interesting.
That'd
I
be
think.
fun.
That would be cool.
That's assuming it doesn't all implode and fall apart between now and
It is the music industry,
You never
right?
know.
Yeah, that's what they do. That's
yeah.
what bands do. You guys will all freaking start trying to stab each other.
Yeah, I'll start doing crack and
Whoa,
stealing.
I don't know that like bands that are composed of people in their 50s,
yeah,
I don't know if that
they don't
happens.
usually fall apart like that.
you're also not going to get rich, but
Not looking to.
yeah. But it's fun to have fun.
I mean, I'm well compensated with my current profession and my
There
career.
you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I don't do music for money.
No,
Yeah.
it's,
If I did, it wouldn't be any fun.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
I could
and
totally
like I said,
understand that.
it's just one of the things I've noticed you're passionate about.
That's
I have
great.
several.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And I have noticed that when you get into something, you go all in.
Yeah,
And I
why
mean,
not?
That's been a blessing and a curse my entire life.
Yeah.
Like racquetball. I started playing racquetball in high school. I got fucking good at it too. Right? But it's the only thing I did for
Yeah.
a couple of years. And then I got bored.
Yep.
I moved
Have
on
you,
to something else.
have you done anything with pickleball?
So now they
No,
put
I
a
haven't done
put a
pickleball.
net out and change the name of it.
Call it pickleball.
Yeah.
So just a few weeks ago, my wife told me that her aunt and uncle
Holy shit.
were in a pickleball tournament here in town. And the only thing I know about pickleball is the little bit of TikTok videos I've seen online. I didn't even know if it was a real sport. I thought maybe people were just making shit up for
Right.
TikTok videos.
No, it's
So I was
legit.
like, oh, that's a real thing? Okay, let's go. We can go. Because her grandma and mom and everybody was going to go watch them
They want to
play this
go
tournament.
watch.
You know, because it's a reason for the family to get together. So whatever. So I go. And it's at the YMCA pickleball course, which I didn't even know they had.
Yep.
So we go there, and I'm chilling, and this is freaking hilarious. So her aunt and uncle are in between matches, And I'm in the middle of a conversation with her uncle because I don't see them very often. So we're BSing, and I'm in the middle of telling him that I didn't even know pickleball was a real thing. And he's explaining the rules to me so I can follow it. And one of our customers comes walking by, and he stops, and he looks at me, he goes, "You play pickleball?" I mean,
no.
and it was obvious, like the look on his face was like, "What the fuck are you doing here?"
Yeah.
And I was like,
Do I look
no,
like I
not
do?"
really. Well, then her uncle butts
That's
in.
fucking
dude.
awesome.
And he's like, "What, you don't think he could play pickleball?"
I challenge
Just
you.
giving him a hard time. Like, we were
No.
totally joking with the guy. But the guy just kept talking, putting his foot in his mouth.
Mm.
And he's like, "No, I just meant," and I was like, "Oh, you think
Yeah.
I'm not built to play pickleball?"
Here we go.
The guy was just stuttering over his words. It
Whatever,
was so
Carlos. See you
hilarious.
later.
And finally he's like, "I'm going to leave now before I freaking make a bigger ass of myself." And he just walked off. And me and her uncle were just laughing about it. It was hilarious. But
Well, like,
I didn't even know it was a thing, really.
so 15 years ago when poker got big,
Yeah.
I'm like, that looks like fun.
He dove
Went all in on
dove
poker.
right in it. Huh?
So I had 2 home games, a Tuesday and a Saturday night that went for 5 years. And I studied poker. And I got pretty good at it. I paid for 2 trips to Mexico and a cruise off of
Jesus.
those 2 home games.
Holy shit.
$20 buy-in tournament games.
So you really paid attention.
Yeah, I mean, I bought and read probably 20 books on poker.
Nice.
I've never lost money in Las Vegas, ever.
Hmm.
Reno and Tahoe is another story.
Yeah.
But-
that's a little different.
Vegas playing poker, I've never lost money because I limit myself to the games that I know I can play. 1, 2, 3, 5 if I'm feeling really good. But I typically stick to 1, 2, no limit. But then my games dissolved. And, you know, I'd go to the clubhouse occasionally and play. And I won a couple of tournaments there. And I did okay on the cash tables. But as with most things other than shooting and music, I kind of lost interest.
Well, yeah, it got
I still
boring
play
to you.
occasionally.
Yeah.
I like to play. So, unlike you, I find an interest in something, and I just randomly put effort into it.
Slowly go.
I'm
into
not.
it.
I don't go all in because I got so many things I'm doing all the time.
I devote my life.
Yeah, and I just don't do that. But
If I could devote my life to my career,
There you go.
yeah,
where would I be?
yeah, exactly. Honestly, I think the things that I find interest in are the things that I find that I just have a natural talent for.
Sure.
And I figure since I have a natural talent for it, I don't need to put much effort into it.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I necessarily have a natural talent at anything. Like musically, I've had the ability to pick up an instrument and learn the basics very quickly.
Right. Right.
Like 8th grade, my band teacher came and said, "Hey, our trombone player's out. You want to try
wanna fill
trombone?"
in?
I'm
Yeah.
like, "Cool. All right, you got 2 weeks."
Okay. Here
So
we go.
2 weeks, I learned I was good enough to play
Which is amazing.
the
Yeah.
piece in the concert, right?
Yeah.
But I never progressed past that.
hmm
But I've always had that, so maybe that's a little bit of a natural ability. But
Yeah.
To get past
you
that
got
point-
the musical ear, you know.
to get past that point takes work.
Yeah.
Well, I think if it has, like with music, if you learn one instrument, the next instrument I think is going to be a little easier than that.
Well, the
And the next one.
Mhm.
the musical theory remains the same.
Yeah. And the
yes.
same goes with other things. I mean, if you're staying in the same lane, it's probably going to be easier for you to learn. But I'm just saying, anything that I've found in my life that I've got a little bit of an ability at, I tend to enjoy it, but I don't commit my life to it. Like when I was younger, I moved to Portland for a while. The job I got when I moved there, I got there thinking I was going to freaking have this awesome job. 2 weeks after I started, they're like,
Surprise.
"Oh, well, it's our off season, so you just need to call in every day and we'll tell you if you need to come to work." And I was like,
I gotta pay rent.
I got to pay my bills. And I had met a couple friends, and they're like, well, when we're not working, we hang out at the pool hall.
Hustle.
So you can come down to the pool hall. Well, I went down to the pool hall, figured out I was okay at pool. So that's how I started paying my rent, was playing pool.
Okay.
And, but I never went beyond that. I just kind of played enough
The necessity.
that I could make a little bit of money, and I had fun doing it.
Yeah, but it takes a concerted
And I never did
effort and it takes
Well, it's kind of
a
like
passionate dedication to go beyond that level.
Yeah.
it's kind of like someone learning to be good at golf, or
Oh, golf's
you know,
hard.
yeah, and it's the time, the dedication, and
Well, and everything, I've figured out just about everything. You can be okay at something, but to be expert level or whatever, you have to do it all
Constant.
the fucking time.
And probably the closest I've got to that has been with shooting. I'm not an expert.
yeah,
But you were probably pretty close for a while.
I'm closer to an expert in that discipline than I am in my other disciplines.
right, because you put the time in.
Because I did it for I shot thousands and thousands of rounds a year for so many years, for 5, 6, 7 years, whatever it was, that I got to a level, but I was still getting fucking destroyed by dudes at competitions.
You're right.
And I think most of the stuff I do socially. I do it for a reason to be social. And
I see that.
If I lose my partners, my social people that I'm involved with,
it's gone.
then I'm like, this is no fun.
I don't want to do it.
I do it because I have a built-in competitive not edge.
Well, you want to be competitive in everything.
Yeah,
I want to be
you wanna
competitive.
be good.
And if I win, great. If I don't, I had fun.
I had
but I'm still going to compete. I just want to compete.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's the natural instinct to, I can do that better, you know?
Yeah. Well, and if you've got
and
that,
even if you can't,
if
but
you've
you're
got
still going
that,
to try.
if you've got that competitiveness in your blood, you want to get at least good enough so that you're not getting your ass kicked.
I totally
You're not
get
getting
it.
completely embarrassed every time.
Right.
Yeah, and I don't have that. I guess I'm not real competitive.
I'm always embarrassed.
I just want to be good enough that I can hang out socially with those people.
Yeah, and in golf, I win some, I lose some, kind of middle of the pack, and I know I will never be that 3-4 handicap dude. I'll never be that guy. I'm 50. I'm not getting any younger.
The John Daly syndrome.
Yeah, I'm never going to be that dude. And I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Shooting.
Dude, I was watching a video of John Daly freaking
crack a beer, smoke a cigarette.
Blowing up.
He was shotgunning
Yeah.
fucking ranch waters with some fucking bartender girls. And
Just
all
nuts.
fucking
And goes
stuff.
out and shoots 59 or whatever.
Yeah. It's just fucking
But
unheard of shit.
Shooting, I would compete with anybody in Douglas County today. And I just have that confidence because
Right.
I know what I can do with a rifle.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Maybe I'm full of shit and I don't know what I'm talking about.
No.
But
Or maybe you're just calling out some better competition.
Well,
bring it on.
You're, either way, you're challenging yourself.
I mean,
and that's the whole mental process of.
I might get my ass kicked.
Here
But I'll
we
shoot
go,
with
yeah.
anybody here in this county.
I totally understand it.
Now, when you're talking about like timed events with positional shooting and
Oh,
7
yeah.
different targets,
Fuck
that
no.
type of stuff I haven't trained for in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about just straight up 1,400 yards and a 1 MOA target
Yeah.
in the wind, bring it on. Anybody in the county I'll shoot against. I might lose,
Yeah.
but I think I can hold my own.
Yeah.
Shotguns? Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, shotguns intrigue. I've never been that into shotguns, but I went to a marketing thing in Texas a couple years ago, and one of the networking events during it was a skeet shooting one day,
Okay.
and that was fucking fun as hell.
So
It
that's
is.
a blast.
It
was
is.
awesome. It was 5 stand or whatever,
Damn.
and it was it was great. So
So
that's
5
something.
stand is different than skeet.
Well, whatever. I don't know. There was fucking targets flying.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I think it's called 5-stand though, because it comes in 5 directions.
Yeah, it's a different game.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
whatever.
okay.
But, and then I've heard about this place in Cresswell,
Mm-hmm.
the shooting club up there. That's like a golf course.
Sporting clays.
Yeah, Sporting Clays.
Sporting clay.
That sounds
It's
amazing.
a lot of fun.
Totally going to do that.
Done it.
So I'm looking forward to trying to expand on that a little bit.
Dude, the sporting clays, I shot sporting clays in Texas a couple times.
Yeah.
Those dudes have golf carts
Yeah. Go they do in Cresswell.
with bags
Yeah.
with your shotguns
And
inside the golf bag on the back of the golf cart.
God,
It
dang.
is awesome.
Yeah.
If
yeah,
you're a
that's what
shotgun
they do
dude,
up
it's
there.
I'm
awesome.
trying the Ithaca on this one. Okay.
That place at Cresswell, they rent golf carts and shit for the
Holy
I think it's
crap.
15 stages.
Fuck yeah.
My buddy Shane went up there and shot it. He said it's fucking awesome, but I'm not doing it without friends next time.
Yeah, I'll go with you.
Yeah, let's do
Yeah. That
Speaking
sounds-
of Ithaca,
Sounds fun as hell.
I want an Ithaca 37 if you can find one.
it. All right.
It's one of the ones I don't have in my collection.
Write it
You,
down,
you
Carlos.
don't have a Ithaca stakeout either, and I got one of those.
I've got an Ithaca NID, new Ithaca double
Well,
in 20.
The stakeout is the little.
Is it a new gun? I don't get. Come
No, this
on.
is classic. This is World War II.
You know,
This is
It's the
Vietnam,
orange
dude.
one, right?
That's
The
what
one
they
that-
used to freaking the
spray
tunnel
painted
rats
orange.
use.
You know what I'm looking for. That's
The
not.
they
That's
were
not
freaking
it.
Clearing out little Vietnam people in
Okay,
caves.
so who's the first guy you call if there's a H&H Holland come into this
You know,
place?
anytime we got a shotgun, you're the guy we call.
Yeah, I know.
Sweet.
we
Leon
got a
calls you for
Mossberg
shit that's not even
500.
close to what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Sorry, Leon. That's not what I want, buddy. But thanks for calling.
Just letting you know.
So, world traveling, all your different loves.
Pretty
You
damn
got a lot of
interesting.
stuff going on. What are some of your bucket list things, man?
Watch my grandkids grow up.
There you go. I
See,
like
get into
it.
the mushy fucking grandpa shit.
That ain't fucking mushy.
It is
Come on.
Dude, I've caught all
Hell
the fish in the
no.
world. I want to go hunting Argentina and I want to hunt pheasants in South
yeah.
Dakota, but I want to watch my grandkids grow up.
Or you want to teach them about some of your passions.
Yep.
Why not?
Yep,
That's
that's it.
the fucking goal right there.
That's it.
I get it. I
I want to get a nicer car someday.
You're
How
driving,
the
you drive
fuck
a
can you
Porsche.
get a
What is
I
nicer
it?
want a nicer
car?
Porsche.
Come on. Holy shit.
So, funny thing with sports cars is the nicer sports cars mean you go vintage,
Vintage, yeah.
Potentially, yeah. Uh-huh.
which was just I think it's funny, but it's true.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, I could spend 125 grand on a 2023 Carrera, or I can spend 250 grand on a 1998 911 Carrera Turbo.
Yeah.
There you go.
Take your pick.
and the funny thing is most sports car guys, that's what they want to do though. They want
They
they want to go
vintage.
vintage. They want to go the old way. So
Well, that's my first luxury sports car. So I think I want to get a newer one before I go vintage. And don't forget, I still want to buy a Holland in between there. So do I get an 88 911 Turbo or the Holland and
You're
Holland?
like, damn
Take
it.
your pick.
maybe you'll get lucky and you'll be able to do both in the
So-
same week.
Maybe.
That'd be awesome.
My kid's grandpa had Porsches.
Okay.
And so, of course, my kids are like, oh, that's fucking badass. Pulled into the bowling alley today. Instantly, Gavin's like, there's my fucking car. There's my car.
Was it my car?
Yes.
Okay.
It was your goddamn car. Of all things, it was just amazing. Just kind of random, weird shit.
That's funny.
His fucking giant ass wouldn't fit in that car.
Yeah.
I have a truck also.
I know you do, but yeah. So that was just my question. This is what's some of your bucket list things? Where would you like to go? What would you like to have? What would you want to do?
The stuff I want is really kind of silly. It's nothing I need. I have everything I need. The places I want to go, I mean, shoot, man, I've been all over the world.
Hmm.
I'd like to fish the Amazon one day.
That'd be cool.
I'd like to hunt grouse in the Scottish Highlands. I'd like to hunt pheasants in South Dakota, which is, I mean, that's not like a woo
No.
dream thing because I could probably go do it tomorrow if I wanted to. I want to watch my grandkids get bigger.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I hear you.
And I watch my
do.
son be successful,
I
too.
totally understand it.
Yeah.
Those are the important things, man.
Yep.
Right on.
Good deal.
Well, dude, I really appreciate you being on the freaking podcast. It's been entertaining.
It's
to
been
talk
fun.
to you.
It's been awesome
I
getting
like
to know
your
you.
stories.
I got more where that came from.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Maybe we'll get you back on. Like I said, we can get you on with the whole band.
I like the whole in the parking lot thing.
Assuming
Yeah.
the band's any
Jam
good.
out.
We'll see.
Oh, you'd be fine.
Dude, you don't. Like I said, my favorite thing is just to listen to people jam. I don't give a
Yeah.
shit.
That's a lot of fun.
When I was, I think I was 19 years old. I moved to Missouri for a while. Missouri has, they had lots of freaking bars and shit down there. The music scene when I was there was pretty good. And, I got to see, what the fuck was the name of that? Ugly Kid Joe.
Okay.
Kid Joe.
Before they made it.
Hates me.
Yeah, well, it was before they made it.
Okay.
It was a bar that had 3 bands playing at the same time on different levels.
Yeah.
And they were playing live and down there. And that was always my favorite thing, was watching them play in little dive bars, watching people jam out where you can actually hear the music and there's no pyrotechnics and stupid shit
No,
going
it's
on.
all
just
about the
people
music.
having a drink
Yep.
and listening to music. I think that's the best. So I got all the hope in the world that you guys are successful.
Yeah.
You know what?
Be pretty cool.
Just about having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Well, that's what I mean by successful.
Yeah.
I don't think you get rich, but
Yeah, we're not looking for a record deal and go on tour. We just
Yeah.
want to play
you
3-4 shows
never
a year and
know.
have
It's
some fun.
closer to that Holland, you know.
Yeah, well,
there you go.
No.
That'd be awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see.
Right on. Well, I know you got to hit the road because you got a gig tonight.
Yep.
And hopefully you'll email me some music. I'll throw it on here. Maybe you'll get some followers out of it.
Hell yeah.
And
I'll see what I can find.
that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Can I send you one song? Yeah, you split it in half.
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Whatever you send me, I'll make it work.
Okay.
So thank you for being on the show, Mike. Thanks for coming.
Of course.
And until next time, I hope everyone enjoyed it.
Peace.
See ya.